Hey everybody, it's Durger time. Thank you for joining me once again for another episode of Let's Play Wrestling GM. We have completed the first month in our game of January 2020, have gotten a pay-per-view in the bag. It could have went better. I think it went okay. We did achieve some of our goals, but it wasn't that 45 we were looking for. We were hoping for something a little bit higher in terms of the ratings. We got a 42. I'll take it, but it's something definitely we're going to have to work on for the next months a little bit better. Now, this entire series is sponsored by the creators of Wrestling GM, Sicko Games. If you like what you see, make sure to click the links in the description below, start playing right away, as well as joining their subreddit. It's got a lot of pretty passionate fans on there. I was checking it out over the weekend. Well worth taking a look at if you are interested in the game. Anyways, let us get going with our next show. So we can advance to the next month. And we do so right here. So we are now in February 2020. We do have some gold coins in the bank. We could convert those to points if we want to dump points into a specific person. It's something we might do. Though I'm kind of hesitant right now. We do have some wrestlers that are very tired. I don't think there's anything that's like, hey, take a rest. We just have to kind of keep them off the show. So basically, I think Leia and May, we're going to pretty much keep off the show here for a bit. Because they are pretty tired after having a show. We still have a storyline for them, though. So we're not going to have them off for long, but we do want to build up their fatigue a bit and kind of manage that. In terms of feuds, they are still in the cold state, unfortunately. Everybody's currently in the cold state. I think Poison and Takano is done. We'll end that feud. Its performance was mediocre, and its feud was cold. It actually lost to some fans. Unfortunately. So that is, lost us some fans, I think. That is unfortunate. We may continue the rest of these, though. Especially May and Leia, I think, is not done yet. But I think for Poison, I feel like Tano's done, too. Yeah, that. Maybe we should be doing longer feuds for these. Because I think the next thing here is going to be Poison and we want Poison and Tanaka or Poison and Tano. They're both heels, so that's kind of weird, but could work. Could be interesting. We'll do that. I think that's fine. We still want to build off this, and for Izumi and Leia, I think we're going to end it with them with a 2 out of 3 falls, or a best of 3 match kind of situation. Banshee and Hydra still being dominant. I think there's still a story there to tell. And we just started with Nishimura and Okabe, so we got some things to go on with that there. Let's go ahead and let's get the fight card and start our show. So we're going to keep Leia and Izumi off completely this show. I want them to kind of just, live. Just heal up. What's the last man here? 10 last man. That's just the last man standing match. That could be kind of fun. Let's start the show with a last man standing match. With Poison. Let's start the show with Poison. Showing dominance. We're gonna get wild. We're gonna get wild here. We're gonna have her beat Tanaka. 10 count. And we're gonna be a pretty long match to start the show, but we'll do it. We're gonna get real wild. And then after the fact, she's gonna challenge our champion right away. So it's kind of an interesting way to start the show with a lot of heat with a main eventer match. which is kind of wild. But that is exactly what we will do. Kind of gives us a little bit of a different feel here, which I think is kind of neat. After that, let's have an angle where we have a promo. Angle size promo of just one. I think we will have our face champion or face tag team member, Nishimura, who is going to have a lot to say. Probably a pretty long segment. I'm going to say like a 9-10 minute segment here. She's got a lot to say about her former tag team partner. You know, how that she betrayed her, how the fact that they had a draw because they know each other so well. She's still trying to convince her, why don't you join back up? Why don't you join me? This is kind of ridiculous, that kind of situation. You know, she's not quite sure about the breakup. Thinks that there's still a chance to bring her back to the fold. I think we're going to have a 1v1v1. Just a normal match will be fine. Though, actually, you know, I kind of wanted to see, like, how crazy can we get here in terms of, let's do a tables match. Can we really go for the moon here and see if we can get some strong ratings? And I think this is going to be a good vehicle for Jasmine. We want to do something with. I want to do some kind of feud with her as well, but I don't know who I would want it to be with. Whose faces here? We got Ito and Oishi or tag. Kita. We haven't done anything formally with Kita. Let's start a feud. We're gonna have Jasmine win this match. Make it about 13-14 minutes. Let's go back to our... No, I don't want to return to main menu. Nope. Go back to our feuds. I think we're going to start a feud, another feud, with Jasmine and Kita. I think that might be a good one to build something up, because we kind of see some potential in Jasmine here. I think we could do some interesting things there. So that's kind of how I want to go with it. And I think we'll have her win, and then we will have a backstage attack where I think something will happen in that match that just pisses her off, and she'll just go straight towards Kita and attack her. 5-minute beatdown's fine. Gets us down to 51 minutes. We still got another like 40 minutes left for the show here. So we got to kind of play carefully here. I think we'll have a tag match. Again, just dominance. I think it'll be our champions having a match. Who are they going to fight? Well, they already fought those, the challengers last, and they lost, so doesn't really make much sense, but I think we could have an exhibition match again. I don't think that hurts, right? It's was it Ito or was it Okabe? Oishi. Yeah, I always forget. Too many O's. It won't be for the challenge. It'll just be a match. I think they still win again. It's just, again, to continue that dominance from them. They're gonna have a difficult time, anyone really toppling them. Maybe, so in that case, maybe we do count out. Do a count out. They actually win through a count out. That kind of produces a little bit of heat for them. And perhaps they will both celebrate after the fact, which will just piss them off a little bit more, as sort of an undeserved celebration. But it might get under Hydra's skin and Banshee's skin a little bit that the two of them are celebrating a count-out victory, that they managed to kind of get them out on the ropes. And that could play up the tension and the heat there in an interesting way. Now, where's our main event? We're 69 minutes. We're close to our main event. I think we need a angle. I think we need a challenge. Our main eventer, Tano. No, because we already have a challenge. So let's do a promo. Just a promo where Tano gets to just talk about how she has proven herself to be completely dominant. This might be an interview. This might be like a 10-minute interview. She's dominant. She knows Poison's been calling her out. She does not care. That kind of thing. She'll have a match tonight. But it will not matter to her because she's so confident she will win. That no one else in the roster even is close to her. I think we'll have Ito fight her, and she'll win. Tana will win. It won't be for the belt. It'll just be a match. We'll do like a 25-minute match. Make a nice long one. Submission to really make it dominant. And then after the fact, we close the show with an attack from Poison on our main eventer, Tano. We'll end that show with a pretty long beatdown. I think that's pretty solid. I think that gets us some interesting dynamics there where, we have Poison still being dominant, calling out the champion, and eventually, after Tano still shows that she's also a dominant champion, we sort of almost like a battle of the powerhouses at the end. Let's see how this goes. I'm hoping this actually really gets a good score. 42 was our pay-per-view, which was pretty solid. I would like, again, 42 I feel like is like the baseline now. That's to me is a good show. I really want to go higher and see if we can actually do it. So starting off the show though, that's a hell of a start. Tanaka and Aoki, poor Tanaka, former champion, now relegated to this. But Poison coming in as a powerhouse, gaining a ton of fans. Nobody looks really that bad in here because Tanaka here still getting fans from this. But that menace factor playing out very well. Last man standing match, 10 count, 17 minutes, 51 for the score. Not too shabby. After that fact, we do have Poison calling out Tano and saying, listen, I've been dominant all through the undercard. If you want a real challenge, if you really want to face something, then I'm right here. And that kind of big call out, that menace working really well for her, getting her 200 fans. Tano not doing that well, relying just on that charisma, gaining no fans from that. The feud begins. The challenge is called out. Will Tano accept? Will she have a choice? Nishimura having a strong, long interview, using that charisma skill well. Gets a 38. It's a little underwhelming, though, unfortunately, as she's begging and pleading for her partner to, come back into the fold. What are you doing? Why are we fighting? Look at us. We just drew. We just had a tie where we know each other so well. Let's not continue this nonsense, this cycle. Will it matter? We don't know. 36 for this match for Jasmine. Jasmine does okay. She's got a 41. The other two, about a 38 each. We gain 100 fans for Jasmine. Nobody loses any, which is important. Could be better. We start a feud with Jasmine. It's fine. 36 is really underwhelming considering it was a tables match. I thought it was going to do a little bit better for us. That's concerning. So obviously the intensity is not necessarily going to and the prestige is not going to instantly drum up the increase in our score. We're still going to rely on who we have, and for our undercard, we're sitting at about a 38 to 41. It seems for most of our wrestlers. After that, Jasmine attacks Kita. After Kita says something in the ring, just triggers Jasmine. And, maybe it's that chip at that shoulder. Maybe it's that Gaijin attitude, right? Jasmine's from America. She's stuck in Japan, feeling maybe alienated. And she just snaps. And something triggers on her that she just attacks Kita. and runs her down. Kita gets only get a 14. Jasmine has 47. Got that cool factor, got that superstar look, gains her 200 fans. Unfortunately, this segment's a little underwhelming with a 38. Could be a lot better for us. Semi-main event also not too bad. 49. Hydra and Banshee just consistently being pretty good. I mean, Akuda and Oishi also, obviously, but our champions are a little bit higher performers. We gain some experience for both teams. Gain no fans for our losers. Gain a little bit for our winners after a count-out victory with Okuda and Oishi somehow managing to get Banshee and Hydra just outside and to the 10 count. They just can't get in time, and they get a little bit of a victory from them, which they then proceed to celebrate a little obnoxiously to celebrate a count-out victory, but they do so and are kind of rubbing it in the faces of Banshee and Hydra, and I can't imagine they're going to take that very well. This angle actually gets a 45. It's not too bad. And we move on towards our main event where we have an angle first with Tano. Again, a long 55 angle score here for a 10-minute promo after she just talks about feeling like she's at another level from everybody else. Everybody else here in the roster they really can't compete with her. And she can't imagine there's anybody on the roster that has the skill to take her at this point. And, she hints at maybe just moving on from the company, real healing it up, that kind of thing. Of course, she has that superstar look. She gains a lot of followers from this segment. Her charisma, which is at 78, is really shining here. Gets us a 55. It's pretty good for a promo. The main event, underwhelming compared to her promo beforehand. She wins through submission. They both have about an even score, but yeah, a little underwhelming considering how good that promo was. But Tano does have that high charisma, so that might be a factor for us. After the fact, Poison comes out, and as Tano is walking up the ramp, gets assaulted by Poison, calling out her shot. Tana only has a 9 in this segment in terms of the rating. Poison has a 51. And basically just calls it out. Oh, Tana, you think you are so tough. You think you're the only person in this roster that has a shot. Well, you haven't been seeing what I've been doing. And, she uses her fists to let that be known that Tano is not as tough as she thinks she is, as the two bullies of the locker room go head to head. Wow, this show ended up being pretty okay. 44. We were asking for a 45 for our pay-per-view, so we're booking it. Overall, this show was pretty damn good. Wow, I can't complain about that at all. I felt like we were actually underperforming somewhere in some of these angles, but I think some of those matches, especially this one angle with Tano, really brought us to the next level here. Cannot complain about that at all. Great way to start off the month of February in our save. We get 1,100 new followers, just about. Still a little bit of game points. We could always cash in. Oh, we got an extra gold coin. We could cash in another gold coin for more game points. I don't think we need to, though. And at this point, we just want our other wrestlers to rest a bit. Leia already back up to 3. May slowly gaining some fatigue back. She might have to be off another show, unfortunately. Poison also looking fatigued, going to be a problem for us. We're going to have to rotate some people around because that may end up being an issue of just running into fatigue issues, unfortunately. All right, guys, that was show 1 in the bag for February. I'm liking where it's going. I think we got a good build towards the next pay-per-view. Let me know what you think in the comments, and I'll see you next time.